Welcome, everybody, to the Aim Higher podcast. I am Rob Aberzino. We have Josh from Trijicon today. Josh, what's going on, man?
Hey, it's good to be here.
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a busy show.
Yeah, it has been a very busy show. I'll tell you what. I'm not quite ready for it to end, though. And we got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
Day 3. You've got some new product here, and we need to just dive right into this thing. I just took a peek through it, and it's beautiful. I mean, Trijicon is the chef's kiss when it comes to optics, whether tactical or hunting. And I was just telling you the story. I just got that AccuPoint, 3-9 by 40. Is that right? 3-9?
Yeah,
that's it. Okay, 3-9 by 40. That's what it is. And just took it out and got to use it in December and just loved it.
Yeah.
The fiber optic and tritium, as you were explaining how they exchange, no batteries, but I mean, kind of using that ambient light. I love that scope. My buddies love that scope. I mean, half of us at work have that scope.
Yeah.
So
I love it too, man. I've got all my hunting guns are set up with AccuPoints. Just never have to worry about it. It's just always there, always on, always ready to go. And man,
absolutely.
Little green kind of draws your eye in against the animal.
Love it. It's fantastic. This is not that, but it's something equally as cool, if not better. So what do you have?
Yeah, absolutely. So this right here is the Credo HX 1-10 by 28. So it's our new scope. We just launched it this last week.
Yeah.
There's actually this one, and then there's the Credo variety, and I'll kind of talk about the difference in a minute. But so two scopes, both 1-10 by 28.
Right.
First focal plane scopes. For those who are familiar with our Credo 1-8, which has been our best-selling scope for probably the last 3 years.
Yeah.
This is kind of that next iteration of it. It's that next option for people who want a little bit more magnification.
Right.
So it carries over a lot of the same features, though. So we still running with a 34mm tube. So it gives you plenty of travel inside the tube, gives you a nice rigid overall structure.
Yeah.
It also has first focal plane reticle, just like the 1-8.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar reticle to the 1-8, which is part of why that 1-8's been so popular.
Yeah.
So it's a segmented circle reticle that's really nice and big and illuminated at the 1 power.
Yeah.
And then as you increase that magnification up to the 10, it zooms in, and now you have an illuminated crosshair dot
right
in the center. And so it's really like two reticles in one. I like to tell people, at that 1 power, you got that big one, easy to grab, moving targets, everything.
Yeah.
And then when you need that little more magnification, you go up. Now you got a real fine point in the center. So it's really nice.
Is this on 1 right now? I just picked.
It was. You were looking at it through 1.
No, it's perfect. I mean, it's like having a Terminator eye, with like the reticle in it. As you look through it, I mean, the clarity is amazing, and I love the reticle in this thing.
Yeah, it really. I think honestly, with the low power variable, really, particularly in first focal plane, the reticle is what makes or breaks a scope.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to have something like that, it really has to work at all magnification ranges. And I think that our optical engineers and team have done a really good job kind of perfecting that reticle here. The one difference between this reticle and the reticle that's in the 1-8, the Credo 1-8, is that this has some very subtle wind holds in it, so that when you're at the 10 power, you also have some wind holds.
Yeah.
And it's really nice, and that comes actually from our VCOG line. So the VCOG 1-8 SCO, so the Squad Common Optic, adopted by the Marine Corps, has that reticle in it, and we've got a lot of positive feedback on it.
Yeah.
So we decided to implement that into this 1-10. So it's the first time it's been available outside of the VCOG line. So excited about that too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. What are some applications you like to use this for? I know there's several. I have a 1-10, not this one, but I love it. I have it on my AR. Good for hog hunting or target shooting or whatever. But what do you like this for?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is where kind of the two varieties come in. So the main difference between the Credo and the Credo HX versions of this 1-10 is the MIL versus MOA.
Yeah.
So some folks are just a little more comfortable in MOA family, and that often applies in the hunting space.
Yeah.
So beyond what you'll often see these 1-10s on, which is like an AR-15 or an AR-10,
right.
Great fit for like a DMR kind of setup on an AR-10. But you also see them on lever action guns. It's a nice fit for that too.
Yeah.
Lots of eye relief, plenty of magnification if you need it, but if you don't, it's quick and right there.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome option for it as well. Even some dangerous game gun setups. I've certainly seen that. Guys taking them out to plains game hunts and things. Again, they want everything in one.
Right.
That's the beauty of a 1-10, right? It kind of can do so much in one package.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of great options for it. And so it's just kind of picking, do you like MOAs or MILs? So that kind of helps you pick a little bit of what you want. Other than that, you don't have to pick much, because even like the illumination, it comes in both red and green in the scope. So you've got both colors in there.
Right.
Kind of depending on what your preference is, what your backdrop you're shooting against is. They're all there. So, as far as feature rich, it's very high. They're all zero stop adjusters as well on the elevation. So if you do want to dial, you're always going to be able to just take it right back down to your 0 anytime, you know, you're done with taking that longer shot.
Yeah.
Or, you know, with the type of reticle that it has, there's plenty of holdover options. So if you want to hold over, you got that option. If you want to dial, that's there too.
This size and weight seems very reasonable.
Yeah.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, I don't know what the engineers, what magic they worked, but the 1 to 10 is actually a little bit lighter and a little shorter than the 1 to 8.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
Interesting.
But, yeah, so it's about, I want to say it's about 21.5 ounces, and it's 10 inches long.
Yeah.
So that's both a little bit smaller than the existing 1 to 8.
And you have these new mounts?
There are some new mounts, yeah. So that particular model here is our Q-lock mount. This particular one is set up for bolt action rifle style, so it's a little bit lower. We also have higher ones, multiple different heights, as well as cantilever style for putting on ARs.
Yeah.
The Q-lock mounts are awesome. They're a great return to zero performance, better than most of the competition out there. We've tested just to make sure that these things are always going to come back.
Right.
And so we use them on a lot of stuff. So our thermals have those Q-lock mounts on them. You can get them for our red dots as well. And one of the interesting things about the ones for rifle is that on top right here, on this cap, so we just launched actually this week some accessory caps. So if you've got a Q-lock mount, you can put an accessory on 45-degree offset on either side, or right on top piggyback.
Oh,
so
wow.
you can put an RMR or an SRO or even an RMR CC.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, for those familiar with our line, the RMR CC is the smallest of the RMRs.
Right.
For like a P365 size.
Right.
So it's tiny, and it works great on top because it doesn't stick out very far. It's kind of right there, but it's also, you don't need a lot of glass when you're doing a piggyback style optics. You've got a couple index points on your stock, so you're going to see that dot every time you need it.
Right.
And it fits beautifully right there on the mount. So some cool options from the Trijicon Q-lock line that are now out and available. And
yeah, these are great looking. I mean, they're nice and stout, sturdy looking. I mean, I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, a lot of times people will come to us, and they'll be like, "Oh man, I had this shipped in 0 or not happened." And you check it out, and it turns out the scope is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And it's the rings that slipped, right? There's some issue there in the ring. So having a unibody mount like this, whether you're mounting it on a bolt action or precision gun, or if you're doing it on an AR, having a unibody, really strong, good, quick detach mount is awesome.
This looks locked down pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's going anywhere.
No.
But man, that's awesome. What else you have new at the show?
Yeah. So the other cool thing we launched was in our 10-mile line. So we launched a 10-mile HX 5 to 25 in first focal point.
Wow.
So, we've had a 5 to 25 in that line in a second focal plane for a little while, but a lot of folks have come to us and said, really would love to have a first focal plane reticle in that. It's a nice magnification range for it. And our next kind of level up was a 4.5 to 30, and that's a bit big, particularly on a hunting kind of environment.
Right.
That kind of thing. The 5 to 25 is kind of that nice middle point.
Right.
So now we've got a 3 to 18 and a 5 to 25 and a 4.5 to 30, all in first focal plane in that 10-mile HX line.
Yeah.
And it's a great scope. The reticle is nice. It has doesn't have a ton of wind holds and that kind of thing on it. It's more of a simple kind of hunter-style reticle, but it does have plenty of holdovers, and it does have an easy return to zero dial for dial and elevation. Yeah. So it's a great scope. I mean, that 10-mile line, it's been a good performer for us over the last few years.
Right.
And the more people that kind of get it, certainly in the PRS kind of space, that 4.5 to 30 has earned a great reputation. Right. But then things like the 3 to 18, for a light hunting rifle kind of setup, people want. What it ultimately comes down to with Trijicon is you're getting great glass, but you're also getting durability. Right? Yeah, you're not going to have to worry about it. You take it on a hunt, it knocks up against a rock, knocks up against a tree. Your hunt's not over, right? Like it's going to hold up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We love them. We're a lot of the guys, have these at work, and we've got some great lines. Trijicon is just, it's top notch. Love what you guys are doing. Always innovating. Very cool stuff. I love this, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes to come by and kind of break this thing down for us. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Check this out, and I can vouch for the AccuPoint scopes too on your hunting rifles. Big fan. I know a lot of us are. And the long range shooters too, like you're talking about, So yeah, that's great. Anything else you want to finish off with? No, absolutely. We appreciate you guys and appreciate putting the Trijicon product out there. The nice thing about it is, you sell a quality product, people are going to be happy with it. They're going to come back and, it's cool working for a company where people come up, they're not complaining about things, they're just thanking us for making a great product. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be a part of that. Yeah, that's what it is. That is Trijicon. So appreciate you, man. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming by. Absolutely. You know where to find Trijicon online. All the socials at Trijicon, I guess. Probably. At Trijicon, Trijicon.com. There you go, Trijicon.com, and you know where to find us at LIPSEY'S Guns. So thank you, folks. Until next time, aim higher.